So let's start from there. Let's start from business strategy. What is business strategy?
Okay, so we'll essentially start with strategy because in the business world they throw around strategy a lot, as a big word. But if you want to really simplify it, strategy is just a plan. That's really what it is, right? I mean, you can add a lot of big English to it, but at the base, it's really just a plan. But one of the definitions that I would give today is from a professor at London Business School called Donald Sewell, right? He said, strategy is basically a plan of how organizations create, capture, and sustain economic value.
Create, capture, and sustain
economic. So a typical example is, no matter what business you want to start, say pure water business or bread or whatever it is, first you have to determine what you're bringing to the market. Yeah. So essentially you go through the creation process. You create whatever it is that you're bringing to the market. And when you finish creating it, no matter what you're doing, there is somebody who's doing something like it. Even if you're the first person to create the airline, you still have to be able to capture some of the market of people who go by road. So you then have to figure out, how do I capture some of that market? And then eventually you capture enough of the market to your number one or number two, and then you have to figure out how to sustain. So a perfect example is if you look at Facebook, right? He creates this concept of social networking, gets everybody in, has 2 billion plus people who visit the site on a monthly basis, maybe on a daily basis. And now he's at a point where he's trying to sustain his market share. Yeah. Because TikTok is coming hard for him. Right? TikTok is coming really, really hard for him. So usually when you get, to the top, then you have to figure out, how do we sustain? Because of course somebody's going to come for you. Sure. Somebody's going to see something that you're not doing, or see something that you're doing and do it better, do it faster, do it, more qualitatively and the like. So essentially that's what strategy really is. It's a plan of how do we create something to bring to the market. How do we capture a healthy amount of the market for ourselves, and then when we eventually do that, how do we then sustain whatever it is so that we don't become a brand whose name is synonymous with the industry but we don't make money. It happens, and I don't want to call brands here, but there are some brands that for example, there's a particular brand that used to be a toothpaste. Their name became synonymous with toothpaste, but they weren't making the money because some other brand had taken the market.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what happens when you take over an entire market. Then your name could become synonymous with the industry. Yeah. But even at that, it doesn't mean that you're safe. Because somebody else can come and it also happens to noodles, exactly. Your name could become synonymous with the industry, but somebody else is chipping out your market.
Wow.
Now, when other people get to that point where they make money, first of all, I wanted to touch on how people can make and also save money.
Okay.
Because some people make it in business, they make the money, but how do they keep it? How do they keep the money? How do they ensure that they improve on it?
Great. So again, in business strategy, you have to then think about what's the strategic objective of every business. And no matter what business it is, there are essentially three things every business is trying to do. The first is whatever you're doing, whatever strategy you're employing must be able to help you make a lot of money, which you mentioned.
Right.
Secondly, it must be able to help you save money. Because it doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't keep some of it. But also must be able to help you increase the value of your product, service, or brand equity. Now, so how does a business, focus on all those three? And the first thing that I say, every time I do a training for a corporate organization, one of the first things that I do is that I usually would have the staffs that are seated in the room, whether they're management staff or low-level staff, whatever it is, come out and tell us what they do, but tell us what they do and how it connects to one of these three things. Whether are you helping your organization make money, save money, or improve the quality of product, service, or brand? Why? Because if you cannot help the organization do any of these three, you should be fired.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you should be, because you're not really useful, right? Because if you cannot connect directly what you do in a business, in an organization, to helping that business make money, save money, or improve the quality of their product, service, or brand, you don't really have a job. You're just there because somebody likes you. In fact, you're a parasite to the business. And also, as a business owner, I encourage business owners every day, think about your day and ask, whatever it is that I've done today, does it help my business make money? Does it help us save money? Does it help us improve the quality of our product, service, or brand? Wow. Now, if I get so many no's back to back, I know that I'm being a parasite to my own business. And I should be fired. If I have a board,
Yeah.
You should fire me. You could be fired from the business that you started.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, so every single, and those three things essentially. So if you think about how do we make money, then you're talking about things like sales and marketing strategy,
Yeah.
right? How do we save money? We're talking about how do we run operational efficient enough, you know, so processes, systems, and the likes. How do we improve the quality of our product and service? What's the business's strategy on learning? What's the business's strategy on, you know, showing, for example, perfect example, where I'm on Nigerian Info now, and part of what, when we're trying to rationalize this, part of the reason why we decided to do this is because it's going to improve our brand equity.
That's right.
Right? There are people, I mean, if you're just on social media, people exist in social media in algorithms, right?
Yeah.
No, but there are some people who might never, the algorithm might never bring both of us together on Facebook, but they would hear me today.
That's right.
Exactly. So as a business person, you need to look at everybody, everything that your business is doing and ask, how is he helping us make money? But more importantly, how is he helping us save money? Because sometimes you could be making a lot of money, but you're losing money faster.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yes, it's okay to lose money if there's a promise of making money in the future and your business can take care of that. But if you can avoid it, why lose money? You know, so why don't you just think through and say, are there people in this organization that shouldn't be working here, or are there people in this organization that are not in the right place? Or can we you know, add on something to this person's job so that the person is a lot more valuable? And strategic thinking is what enables the business person to sit down on their business and look at all these things. Because if you only focus on making money, you might make a lot of money and then you lose every single thing.
Wow.
Because he feels highly about losing money. You are in the business, but that's just like mistakes that you could make that would, you know, lead you to losing money. So what are those mistakes that businesses make?
So sometimes the problem is that we don't hire the right people, or we don't upgrade the people that we have. So usually what happens is this: when a business starts, we hire who's available. But as we start to grow, we need to hire who's capable. Because sometimes the cost of what we're losing by somebody who's loyal and available might be higher than what we would have, you know, than we would have been able to save more if we fire that person and hire who's capable, or if that person upgrades themselves. So I usually tell staffs of every organization, if you're good for where the organization is now, that's okay. Are you good for where the organization is going? How are you preparing yourself? If you're an accountant and this organization is going to grow to become $1 billion business, why don't you go and get a CFA? Because it wouldn't matter that the accountant at that point has a CFA.
Right.
Wow.